is despite the fact that we are told life is fine and dandy and wonderful for men, and we are in control of everything and we run everything and we've got nothing to worry about in the world, we do actually have a few things to worry about. And of course, first, second, then we get to third wave feminism, which has sort of taught people that, or women in particular, and even some men, that men should be hated, that there is something inherently wrong with them, that masculinity is a problem. It shouldn't exist. But there are such things as men's health problems. I'll talk a bit more about them in a minute. But credit to Kellie Sloane, the opposition leader in New South Wales, who has announced today that she is appointing Matt Cross as her Minister for Men. Yes, we have ministers for women, and now a New South Wales shadow, I should say, shadow Minister for Men. She's basically saying if it was a Sloane government, we would have a ministry for men. Here she was on 2GB this morning.
We need to start having a positive conversation with men. We've got to stop saying that men need to be fixed, that they're broken, that they're toxic. Let's turn that around and let's say you are supported, you're loved, and your masculinity should be celebrated.
I mean, crazy that that's sort of a radical thing to say in 2026, but it is true. I mean, men are, for instance, 3 times more likely to die by suicide. The 70% more potential years lost in their lives on average than women. They're more likely to use and abuse various substances, alcohol, illicit drugs and tobacco. They're 2.6 times more likely to die due to injury, and more than 90% of deaths in the workplace are men. Their life expectancy in Australia is 4 years shorter than women. They're more likely to be homeless, 55% or thereabouts of homeless people are men. They have a 58% higher death rate for cancer. They have a higher risk of heart disease, because men, of course, don't have estrogen, which gives protection to women up until menopause. Non-sex-specific health problems, every single one of them, men have a higher death rate than women. For every 2 women who die from a non-sex-specific health problem, there are 3 men who die. So it is very clear, despite the fact that we've been told there's, being a man is wonderful, that men have genuine health problems that are specific and exclusive to men, particularly when it comes to mental health, but also physical health. So it is an admirable thing, I think, that someone has finally put this on the agenda and said, yeah, we really should be worrying about men's health, and it's important enough that, like we have a minister for women, it deserves to have a minister for men.
Well, you compare and contrast the opposition leader in New South Wales with the Premier of Victoria, who has a Minister for Men's Behavioural Change, because clearly men are viewed as a problem in Victoria, and so we've got to change their behaviour and demasculinise them. So it's incredibly refreshing to have a political leader like Kellie Sloane saying we've got to do something for men. I was listening to you read all those stats, Caleb, and I couldn't help but think, if you were talking about Indigenous people and listing all those statistics, there would be immediate call for action. There'd be immediate government funding, close the gap. There's a clear gap between the health outcomes of men and women, and yet somehow that gap has not been seen as important until now.
I agree with both of you too. I think this is a fantastic announcement by Kellie Sloane, and she did say that improving the health of men and boys was going to be a priority of hers when she took the leadership. So I'm glad to see that she has gone and done the action that she said she would be doing. But she is right that we need to start celebrating masculinity. Toxic masculinity has been spoken about so much recently, where men are called names, and it's been tough. So I've been working, as you know, in the past with Gotcha for Life, which is all about that suicide prevention, and we lose 7 men every single day to suicide. So we need to be taking some strong action in this space, and I think it's great that the New South Wales Liberals are getting on the front foot with it and actually doing the action that's needed.